Hey, what's up guys? This is Poker Express, and we are back with another episode of Poker Hands. Before getting into it, I would like to ask you guys to hit the like button and subscribe if you enjoy our videos. Let's jump straight into the action.
Ivan raising the hijack, 10-9 of clubs. His nemesis finds it. This time really finds it. Pocket kings. Taking it up to 34k.
34. Yeah.
Ivan calls. This would make a good short deck clash. Wow. Wow. Ivan flops the straight and a straight flush draw. KO flops top set. Yeah, well, these two have been throwing jabs for the last 2 hours.
Finally gonna go snowboarding.
They both actually have it now.
Tomorrow for the first time, finally. Are you? Yeah. No, I'm gonna play.
Oh, is tomorrow 50K short deck?
Yeah. I'm just gonna go.
Nice. We get another short deck on top of the 100K.
Yeah.
Ivan just check calls with his straight and flush draw. Break on the turn. Checks it to KO once more. Well, bet any size now. Ivan appears to be committed.
And then after that,
another 50K?
Yeah. I just figured you needed to catch a couple more.
No, you can't play the 50K. You can be at the final table.
The 250, yeah. Get set over setting, get ninth place, and come.
Yeah, I think we use the same structure, just go 30 minutes. Or 50K.
And he bets 2/3 of Ivan's remaining stack.
Same thing.
Ivan, do a little Hollywood. Not really necessary, but he's going to relish this one. KL's been bashing him up.
One of your super high roll rolls. I would really like that.
The snap, he turns over set of kings. No good, I'm afraid, my friend.
Those are two big ass hands.
Big ass flop.
King of clubs, 8 of clubs, not outs either. They would give Ivan the straight flush.
It's true.
Ivan's sick. Give this man quads. Is what
Yeah,
Ivan's
give me the king of clubs, huh?
There it is. Ivan,
saying.
well, it was down to about 50k. Back to over 300.
110.
There's been some sick setups. The Phil Sam hand was fucking crazy. That was an unbelievable hand. Sam made this nut flush and Phil had quad aces. Number 2 against number 1, 3 hand.
Like round there, like we think of it as less nice, and we think about it as really nice.
19, you said? Was it 19?
Vogelsang opens to 19k. Out of the cutoff with the 9-6 of diamonds. Kurganov calls on the button. Queen Jack off.
You already have any?
Grafton comes along with the 8-6 of spades in the big. Home court advantage of sorts for Sam Grafton, who went to Nottingham U.
Certainly is, and he's also the eldest here at the table.
Oh boy. Comes King Jack Jack with 2 diamonds. Flush draw for Vogelsang. Trip jacks for Igor Kurganov.
We have some action. We can assume that Grafton is out. He has absolutely nothing. Now, Christoph, what do we do with the 9-high flush draw on this sort of texture? As the original raiser from the cutoff, wouldn't be surprised to see him some of the time bet. And how about this? Let's knuckle, right? How strong is Igor's hand on the button? We mentioned this sort of situation earlier. Oftentimes, in position, you have a hand like this. Queen Jack, King Queen. And it's all the small pairs as well. I love Igor's bet, 21,000. He could be doing this with a variety of holdings, not necessarily just 3 of a kind or a king. In fact, if he had a king, I would suspect he would have knuckled back, which is going to make Christoph so curious.
Oh, good.
Certainly not folding a flush draw.
We'll check call.
Igor very quickly can now assign Christoph a hand like King X, perhaps a Jack, a lot of flush draws, and maybe a hand as good as Ace 10, Queen 10.
Another king on the turn.
This is an annoying ticket for Igor if we assign Christoph having a variety of king holdings. Obviously, we can see that Christoph is stone dead in this hand.
55.
If he were to connect with this
He's
flush.
going to
How
lead
about
here
this?
for 55,000.
Beautiful stuff, Christoph. Let's see what sort of resistance Igor has up his sleeve. I can tell you one thing, we're not folding. Certainly need to call here for 55,000 for the times that we're up against exactly this sort of holding. Christoph taking an unorthodox line. He's going to try and tell a story and say, yeah, I have king's fault. I'm going to try and put a jack in hell and shut this pot down. Look at this.
And it gets
Oh
the
my
job
goodness.
done. How about that? Christoph Vogelsang.
I don't like the fold. I really don't. I think we have to call there. We don't know what Christoph's plan is on the river. If there is resistance, we could certainly suspect to go check.
I apologise to everybody listening for asking lots of stupid questions, but because I just sat down, I don't know who's got what stacks or whatever. I know it's coming up on the graphics, but it's going to take me 5 minutes to learn everyone's names.
To help argue with the floor.
Well, there is your man, Dominic Nietzsche. He's defending with ace-4
He's
suited.
the best in the world at that. We need you on our side to argue with the floor.
Scott, no.
Have you been privy to the breaking order discussion?
I have not.
Yeah, I was told they would. So first, what they said was they decided the TV order and then decided the breaking order based on the TV table after that, which is not fair. They said they were going to randomly draw for it, but.
So the flop, pretty good one for Stefan. Pair and a flush draw. Mateus with an open ender. Dominic, the only one to really miss this flop. And Mateus does decide to bet. Stefan did check to him. And pretty cool clear Barney here. If you have checked this flop, I guess he's just doing it to check call.
Yeah, I mean, there's not much he's afraid of seeing on the turn.
I'm not being cheated on my breaks, you know.
Yeah. That's exhausting.
I mean, obviously,
Yeah, that was
exactly a jack in your opponent's hand is the most dangerous thing.
You might not want to talk without.
Gives the most ways for them to catch up, but
Oh, he did check to check raise.
I mean, I don't.
Mateus is 120 bet. It's been check raised to 360. This obviously designed, I guess, to put pressure on Mateus if he has a one pair kind of hand.
well, yeah, you're going to get them to put it in with a lot of hands, and even though you might be behind on this flop with the ace nine of hearts, you don't mind getting it in.
And Mateus does call with his straight draw. So the two of them heads up to the third.
I got to be real careful about that because I haven't been paid yet.
I think Mateus would have given up if a heart had come, and
I know you're not going to disagree about this, but
he checks
it's going to change from the future.
after a tank.
That breaking order is going to be decided before anything comes on the stream table, and then it'll be announced. But this happening, it's going to make it back to the way it is.
Okay.
But this now, this has been chosen as a future table, so it has to go over hard.
So what you were telling me is
if Mateus thinks that he's just up against a flush draw, he might feel he can take it away here. But he's got to be suspicious of this check.
Right, you get check raised, and then the guy checks on this board. He could easily have a full house.
Yeah, exactly. So he's taking a discreet line, and what do you know? He's been rewarded for it.
Improves to straight.
I mean, Stefan, I think he has to check here, whatever. He's got some kind of showdown value. I mean, and then he's going to be faced with a decision. I mean, he already was smelling a rat even before straightening card came. It's a question now whether Mateus can get any value out of Stefan on the river.
You're right, he does indeed give up.
Well, I mean, he's not necessarily giving up by checking here, but I mean, he's certainly not going to get called by words if he bets.
Right. It's worth noting, of course, if he were to sort of check raise this spot with Mateus, as we know, will bet it straight. That would look very, very strong.
Yeah, but Mateus is just thinking about whether he can squeeze a bit of value out of this. And,
does bet 260,000.
It's gone like quarter pot, right?
Yeah.
And, Stefan trying to think, is there anything that my check raise got called by that didn't either get there or wasn't there already? And the only thing you can really think of is a smaller flush draw, which is very unlikely.
Right.
I mean, it's a horrible, it's a horrible price for him, but I think he'll probably find the fold because he's not. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
He wasn't really.
I think it was more a decision of whether he wants to bluff in that spot. But he could perhaps continue his line of making out he flopped a really strong hand and maybe check raise bluff the river rather than thinking about calling there.
And it sounds like many of you in the chat got in. So a min raise by Jackson. It looks like now the blinds are updated because it's 1.2 million to call. So great job by the tech crew for getting that all set. To Ian and Fed and Connor and Andrea and the entire team there. But back to the action. Opened by Jacks with the Queen 9, a call by Marcello, before Eros taking matters into his own hands with a squeeze with the Queen 7 suited. And this may work. I mean, I don't see Jacks continuing with a dominating queen, so at least he's likely to get that out of the way. But as I say that, cards go back in the box. But soon after, across the line face down, and Marcello with the decision to make with the King Jack. Marcello perhaps sensing something is up here. Is counting out some chips. And is making the call. So he will be out of position. It does have the stronger hand, but not convinced that Eros had a monster with his squeeze 3-bet. Oh my, this is action, folks. Marcello flopping top 2, Eros with the flush draw. Now Marcello loving life that he made that call, but might not love life if another club comes on the board. And checking to the aggressor, Eros, who did 3-bet pre-flop. Maybe it's at 3.8 million. Might be a little bit more. It is for 3.8 million. Is going to Hollywood a little, but he's going back to his signature move, which is a jam. And Eros now has a decision to make. He does have some backdoors on top of the flush draw. And he does make the call. Didn't even think it over, just calls right away. And Marcello is a 2-to-1 favorite to double up. Does have to fade that club. Some backdoors as well. Some of those backdoors came to the front. Now it's a 10 or any club. And it's a 3 of diamonds on the river. And for the first time at the final table, we do have a chip lead change. I know that privately you know how much I appreciate you, but now everybody in the world knows how amazing I think you are. So amazing to see you again, Colette, and hope everything is good back home. But she is always behind the scenes, dotting the I's, crossing the T's, making sure everybody's in line. Super friendly person as well, and a hero in the industry. So thank you very much to Colette, who deserves every little bit of love that she's getting right now. But meanwhile, look at this. Wow. We have an open by Jack with the min-raise ace-queen, flopping top pair on the 2-queen-4 flop, but Marcello defending, gets bottom pair and a flush draw. This could be fireworks. Both players having a massive piece of this board. You could see the equities are 50-50 at this standpoint. It is anyone's pot. And Marcello checks. A 1.7 million bet by Jack and a call by Marcello. A blank 8 of spades on the turn does not help either player. And it's a bet of 5 million, so about 1/3 of the pot. Marcello can't go anywhere, but is this going to be the point where he does his specialty move of an overjam, or is he going to play it safe and just call? Looks like he's counting out a call. I wouldn't have minded to see him do his specialty move on the flop, but on the turn he has far less equity. Probably realizing the same and makes the call. And the 7 of hearts on the river, so Jack wins the pot. He would not be folding to a jam with the ace queen. Let's see if he tries to get some more value. And jamming the lot. It's not as big a jam as you think, as Marcello just has a pot-sized bet behind a little bit more and putting Marcello to the test. I'm not saying that this is an easy decision by any means in a heads-up match. And does make the call. Oh my God. Showing a lot of heart. Just didn't make the right read on the final hand. And we have a winner. Congratulations to Jack Blitt from Argentina, our passport winner, for winning the Party Poker Millions Malta Grand Prix for $144,100.